free to criticize this team as they see fit. Heaven knows they've got it coming. But there's one way, and maybe only one, that I'm not okay with. Good morning to you. Good. Wednesday morning, I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins in the same place that you found this. Marlins 3, Pirates 2 last night at PNC Park. And yeah, they had Sandy Alcantara on the mound, and that's pretty much as close as the Miami roster comes to being competitive. And yeah, that's tough to take. It's also tough to take stranding guys at second and third in the bottom of the ninth. Henry Davis popping up and Brian Hayes striking out. But honestly, that's really where the dialogue should be about a game like that. See, here's the thing. Alcantara was terrific last night. 6 scoreless innings, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. But he's got a 7.14 ERA this year. He has not been his Cy Young self. In fact, before facing the even awful-er Rockies earlier this month, Alcantara was hit for 6 runs each by the Dodgers and Padres, both of those out on the West Coast. But the reason that this happens is the same reason that pretty much everything happens related to this team, and that's that they can't hit. So yeah, is it kind of cool when they make something happen occasionally, like the back-to-back homers last night from Hayes and O'Neill Cruz that pulled the Pirates within 3-2? Sure, yeah, wonderful. The same thing goes with the big output the previous night, but it's far, 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 far from the norm. Whereas, and I get to my point here, we, the collective, figurative we, will choose instead, because this subject is so boring, to focus on something that went wrong with the pitching or something that went wrong with a manager's decision. A starter gets pulled at a certain point. The wrong reliever is brought in. The reliever doesn't pitch all that well on a given night. Okay, no. That is the correct and only response that anyone should have when such a thing comes up. It's no. Mitch Keller pitched okay last night. He wasn't great. But 6 innings and 3 runs, which is exactly what his line was, that's a quality start. That's an official statistic now. You can turn your nose up at it, but it's there. It's in place. Mitch has now made 14 starts on the season. 10 of them have been quality starts. He has a respectable 4.15 ERA. His record is 1-9. For the season, he's 1-9. Now, I'm the first person to shrug off / laugh off pitching records because they really don't mean much at all in 2025. But it should speak volumes to the team that Keller is stuck with, that nobody in Major League Baseball since John Buzzhart of the 1960 Phillies, that's 1960 with a 6-0, went winless with at least 9 losses and at least 9 quality starts over a 13-game stretch. That's it. Just Mitch and our man, John Buzzhart. That's according to the Elias Sports Bureau. And after the game, according to Mitch was doing okay.
Just who's pitching and stuff. Like I don't look at record or try not to look at ERA. I mean, obviously that's a good indicator of how the season's going and stuff, but I mean, there's other ways to evaluate outings, and I felt like I made really good pitches. I didn't make one to Fortes. Obviously, probably go back and look, see what we could have done different. I don't really look too much into all that stuff.
So much worse. It's so much worse than the numbers I've given you already. Mitch has 18 runs of support while he's in the game. This is over 14 starts. I'm going to say that again because there's no way that sunk in the first time. He has 18 runs of support while he's officially in the game over a span of 14 starts. In 5 of those, he had 0 runs. Want another one? This one might top that one if you can believe it. Mitch's 10 quality starts are tied for second most in the majors. That is really good stuff. You know who's got more? That's right, pal. Just the one guy, Paul Skeens. Skeens has 11 quality starts. Mitch has 10. One of them is being lauded and everything else, even though, his wins and losses haven't been any better because he's stuck with the same team. And the starting pitchers with the 2 most quality starts in the majors, Skeens and Keller, combining for 21. They have a combined record of 5-15. Fire this general manager. Fire him. When we come back, J1Q. If you're looking for a great dining experience, look no further than North Shore Tavern. Located directly across Federal Street from PNC Park, next door to Mike's Beer Bar, North Shore Tavern is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. Enjoy your steak finished on a hot lava stone in front of you where you ensure each piece is cooked to exactly your liking. Or try their rotating selection of entrees, hot sandwiches, salads, and burgers, all while enjoying the ambiance dedicated to the great players and history of the Pittsburgh Pirates all around you. Come see why everyone's talking about North Shore Tavern and steak on a stone.
It's Gun Storage Check Week. Help prevent unwanted access to your firearms. No one wants their unsecured gun to be used in an accident, a suicide, or a crime. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to secure your firearms. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org. That's gunstoragecheck.org. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Today's J1Q comes from Bob, who says, "Hey DK, why don't the Pirates reallocate where their money is spent? There are too many dollars invested in the Dominican Academy and international signings that have not paid off. Over the past 6 years, even if a few $1 million were moved to the Pittsburgh payroll, maybe there could have been another bat or two along the way." Bob, this subject, I'm surprised to have anybody bring up. Came up with somebody else a little while back, someone with the team, and I'm not going to take that any further. There's details beyond that, but let's leave it at this. Ben Cherington, as the person running baseball operations, is not given a major league payroll budget, so to speak, as much as he is an overall budget, which incidentally is one of the many misnomers about how it is that the Pirates handle their finances. They don't sit there and say, we're going to have $100 million payroll this year. There's a pool of money that goes into baseball, and that includes, you mentioned, Dominican signings. Presumably you were referencing all Latin American signings. When you said international, you might not have included from the Far East or Australia or Europe or even Africa. And you probably weren't citing increased international scouting, people going all over the world to find these players. Or in some cases, like the Dominican Academy, to instruct them there on the spot. You also didn't mention analytics, which got a massive boost. To which I say the same thing you just did. See all of that money that you threw away? Because that's what that actually is. You threw it away. Not every penny of it. If you go over the close to $180 million over Cherington's tenure that have been invested into the draft, that have been invested into Latin America, that have been invested into other international areas, and that have been invested into analytics, you'd be crossing into $200 million territory. Again, over 5 years. Now, am I going to advocate that the Pirates stop participating in the draft? No. That they should recall all their scouts from all across the planet? No. That they should eliminate analytics? No, of course not. But I will tell you what, out of $200 million over a 5-year span, you could get yourself a corner outfielder not named Tommy Pham. You could do that. The worst GM in all of sports could get you a corner outfielder better than Pham with $200 million lying around. So the broader point stands. You can get stubborn about who you want to be as the Pirates. You want to be that team that is loading up on the draft and getting all these bargain players and keeping them for 6 years before you do the Tampa Bay thing and you trade them to somebody else in year 5 and you keep replenishing and restocking. The problem is the general manager cannot identify talent, and it crushes every other component to the process. So whichever way, Bob, that you would want to invest that money, even evening it out a little bit, spreading it out somewhat, you're not going to pull it off. You're not going to pull off anything until you get somebody who can identify talent. The GM who cannot identify talent belongs on the island of misfit toys. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. The series wraps up today with a matinee against the Marlins, and they're heading out to Wrigley Field to face a much, much, much better opponent for 4 games over the weekend. Let's do this again tomorrow.